In recent weeks, a certain company's lupine publicity stunt has brought a lot of attention to the extinction. However, this isn't the first time that an extinct animal is claimed to have been brought back. It has been done before, and that time it was actually for real. In this video, I want to tell the story of the Pyrenean Ibex, an animal that was actually brought back from extinction. The Pyrenean Ibex was one of 4 subspecies of the Iberian Ibex, the others being the extinct Portuguese Ibex as well as the living southeastern and western Spanish Ibex. The Pyrenean Ibex inhabited the Pyrenees and could be found in the French, Spanish and Andorran parts of the mountain range. They were once common, but during the 1800s their population began decreasing, primarily due to hunting. The population decline was further exacerbated by competition with livestock, which overgrazed many areas. Invasive species such as mouflon could also have contributed to their disappearance. In 1989, the Aragonese government had decided to capture wild Pyrenean ibexes to begin a captive breeding program, but at that time the only individuals found were 3 females. In 1999, skin biopsies were taken from Celia, the last living individual. These samples were then frozen to be preserved. Just a year after that, on January 6, 2000, Celia was found dead, and her subspecies was declared extinct. The only remaining hope for her kind were those frozen cells from her ear, now in a lab. In October that same year, it was announced that the company Advanced Cell Technology had received permission from the Aragonese government to clone Celia. In order to bring back the Pyrenean Ibex, they decided to clone the last living individual through nuclear transfer. But how exactly does nuclear transfer work? Well, I'm glad you asked. Nuclear transfer works by taking an unfertilized egg from a donor and then removing the nucleus from that cell to replace it with the nucleus from an animal that you actually want to clone, and then placing those cells into a surrogate mother. The egg cells, or oocytes as they're called, were collected from super-ovulated goats, which sounds rad. The eggs were then taken to the lab where scientists carefully placed nuclei from Celia's cell inside the oocytes. After that, electric shocks were used to convince the 2 parts to fuse together. Some of these oocytes would later form embryos. In this case, scientists managed to implant 208 embryos into surrogates. Out of all of these, only 1 would be born. On the 30th of July 2003, a baby Pyrenean Ibex weighing 2.6 kilos or 5.7 pounds was born, and for the first time in the Earth's history, an extinct animal returned. She was genetically identical to Celia and looked healthy. Her pulse was normal and she was moving, but something was wrong. Just a few minutes after birth, the kid died from respiratory distress, and the Pyrenean Ibex was once again extinct. The sad thing is that this is where the story ends. There were numerous obstacles in the way of bringing back a sustainable population of Pyrenean ibexes. Chiefly among these was the fact that there only existed preserved genetic material from 1 individual. The main problem with this was that no males could be created, which is obviously a problem when trying to breed back a population. One proposed solution was to interbreed the clone with another species of ibex to create hybrids. But then, that's not really the real thing, right? The fact that the clone died soon after birth obviously isn't good, but that's something that's known to happen when cloning animals. And it likely doesn't mean that there was something wrong with Celia's DNA, since she lived a long life and was killed by a falling tree, which isn't exactly a genetic disorder. That means that the same DNA could probably be used to revive the species once again. However, I'm not sure if we should, since there are some inherent problems with the extinction. One of these is that the root cause of the extinction needs to be addressed so that the animals can return to the wild. In the case of the Pyrenean Ibex, which was largely driven to extinction by hunting, this could probably be done. But for more ambitious projects, such as the de-extinction of the mammoth or the dire wolf, this isn't as easy. Another issue is that de-extinction can be used as an excuse to not protect nature, which has already happened since Colossal claimed to bring back the dire wolf. After all, what's the worry in letting a few species go extinct if you can just bring them back again? Well, the problem with the human impact on the environment isn't just species disappearing, but also the interactions between them changing. If one species disappears, then it might cause another to go, which kills off yet another species, and so on. We can't bring back everything, no matter how hard we try. So in conclusion, the extinction of certain animals isn't really any harder than cloning any other animal, which really isn't groundbreaking science anymore. The difficulty lies in creating a sustainable population of the returned species and ensuring that they don't go extinct once again. The de-extinction of the Pyrenean Ibex isn't an achievement because of the science, it was an achievement because of what it means. For 7 minutes humans had brought back an extinct animal. It represents the fact that maybe we can repair ecosystems that we have damaged, but we can't build everything from the bottom up.